The National Logistics Policies aims to cut down Indian logistics cost as percentage of GDP to single digits from the existing 13 to 14%. It also aims to place India at top 25 countries in the Logistics Performance Index released by the World Bank. In order to achieve those ambitions, automation of Indian warehouses will be a very crucial factor. Smart warehouses, as they are termed, enabled by robotics and automation, are gradually picking up space in the Indian logistics landscape. According to the Indian Warehousing Association, while automation of warehouses are expensive upfront, they do result in faster return on investment and result in optimized operations. One of the companies which is at the forefront of warehouse automation is Adverb Technologies. The Reliance retail-backed company is engaged in manufacturing a whole range of mobile robotics and is also instrumental in providing warehouse management solutions.
We started Adverb Technologies in the year 2016. Before starting Adverb, all of us used to work in Asian Paints, and we were part of their project team. We used to build highly automated factories for Asian Paints. During our time, we realized that most of the time, if we need to buy reliable automation equipment, we were dependent upon Europe and Japan for these kind of technologies. So, by working in Asian Paints, we thought about why can't all these technologies can be built in India. And with this dream, all of us quit our job and started Adverb Technology in 2016 with 4 people. So, our idea was to build a technology company coming out of India, building robots and softwares and warehouse automation equipment. So first year we mostly did consultancy in all these companies because we were quite knowledgeable about warehouse automation and how warehouses are designed. So we did consultancy, and apart from this we decided to build upon a team. So we contacted all these people whom we have worked during our journey in our previous organization. So whether our consultants or our suppliers, so we connected with all the good people and form a small team. During that time itself, we raised our first round of money to build a strong team, so that we can recruit more people. So once the team was formed, then we put our energies in producing automation equipment, and we designed and produced this automation equipment. So in first year, we were doing a lot of consultancy work. And apart from doing consultancy work, we keep on connecting with the people with whom we worked in the field of warehouse automation. And we shared our dream with us, and we shared that with what we wanted to do. And a lot of these people, who trusted us, joined us, and we formed a core team. And we started doing small projects in warehouse automation also. Now, once the core team was assembled, we started building our own products, and we started with pallet shuttle as our first product, and it worked really well. In the first year itself, we become the India's largest player in which has sold most number of pallet shuttle. And this way, people started trusting us and giving us more complex projects. In the same year, we started building our own warehouse management and warehouse control system, and we developed pick to light technology also.
We are joined by Inderpreet Singh, Vice President Sales at Adverb Technologies. So Mr. Singh, thank you very much for taking your time out. Now, you are the person responsible for Adverb Technologies, taking this robotics prowess of Adverb and showcasing to your potential customers all over the world. Could you give us a brief? We can see behind us a lot of this, warehouse robots sort of running and doing their job. Give us a brief, what these robots do and the kind of solutions that Adverb Technologies offers.
Okay, so here, we are standing in between of our mobile robot fleet, right? If you look at, on my right, this is basically the Zippy model of ours, right? These are various technologies what we are using right now within our mobile robotics, right? This technology is basically used for sortation, right? So this Zippy as a product is basically used as a sortation solution used by various e-com industries. Wherever you need a high sortation, right? You would probably prefer, or a customer would prefer to go for robotic base of solutions. So, you know, this is one type of solution which basically is a guided vehicle which works on barcode technology, right? Then we have, you know, a different fleet, right, which is called autonomous mobile robots, which are AMRs. That's totally a different technology, right? But both come under mobile robotics, right? So I will also share with you something about AMRs, right? So we can have a look at the AMR, which is already working right now, right? So again, you know, we have got various kind of payloads on this AMR, like, you know, this is starting from 100 kgs and it goes up to 2 ton, okay? Now, these AMRs basically are used for various kind of solutioning within the shop floor, which is, you know, kind of manufacturing area or at the warehouse, right? So these can be used at multiple places. Now, why AMR, right? So it is called autonomous mobile robot. This works on a technology which is called LiDAR technology, right? People talk about today, you know, driverless cars, right? That's exactly the technology. Now, in driverless car, you have, you know, kind of multiple LiDARs, right? So in a car, you would have, say, 50, 60 LiDARs, right? In this AMR, we put, depending upon what's the criteria, we put either 1 or 2 LiDARs, right? Now, this is very, very human friendly, this technology. This can work with humans, you know, and it can detect any object, right? It will stop automatically when humans are working within the warehouse. This is basically used for, as I said, payload, right? So there is a option where you can tug with this, right? This AMR, you can tug, you can lift, right? And then there is a solution called tunneling, right? Where this AMR goes below, you know, any of your pallet, right? And then, you know, or trolley basically, and then it lifts it and it starts moving. So that is basically a tunneling kind of a solution. So if you look at it, right, you know, the base remains always the same. But, you know, being the largest manufacturer today for AMRs, we have the capability of changing the top end, you know, requirement. It could be a conveyor, it could be a tugging, as I said, it could be tunneling, it could be various options. So everything is related to shifting payload from one place to another place, right? As I said, it can go up to 2 tons. So we've got AMRs which are so large that they can take 2 ton of weight and can move from one place to another, right? So it's basically all about automation within the warehouse or from shop floor to the warehouse, right? All of that kind of solutioning is done with this kind of technology, right? This is the latest technology in mobile robotics, right? So this is what is about mobile robotics.
Mr. Singh, could you also, give us a brief about in terms of the use cases? Because in India, the warehousing industry is very diverse. Not everyone fits one particular model. It's a very diverse, and it's also in a very nascent stage in terms of adoption of technologies. So how do you sort of, benchmark your particular product offering? How do you go to the Indian market and then offer it? Because the customer base would be very varied, and how do you address that?
Yeah, so as you know that we are the first Indian multinational now to manufacture these kind of robots and taking them to the world, right? Now, all our products are C certified when it comes to India and when it comes for Europe. We have all the products which are UL certified for US market, right? Now, as far as the use cases are concerned, from what you said, right? The use cases are very clear. This is basically used, as I said, on the floor, on the shop floor, WIP, and to transfer the payload. Now, payload can be transferred on two, three ways, right? One is that you basically lift something and then this starts moving, right? So it's basically a pallet. It could be pallet which it will lift and it will start moving. There could be a trolley at the back end, right, where this will go automatically tug the trolley, right? And trolley has got a weight, could be 700 kg, could be 800 kg, again to transfer to warehouse, right? Or within the warehouse, or from shop floor to warehouse. These are all use cases. It will tug and it will start moving and it automatically will drop at one of the locations. The other option, the third use case is where probably, you know, instead of tunneling, you have to actually go and you have to lift a pallet from a level. Now again, the attachment will change, okay. Now all these use cases, the base remains the same, the attachment changes, right, as I said. So in that case, the attachment will be a lifter. So it will go, it will lift the pallet and it will start moving, right. So, but it is all related to transferring the payload from one place to another place, right. That is, these are the kind of use cases what you can handle with an AMR. Now, these AMRs, as I said, you know, the tops can be changed. So apart from, if somebody wants to lift, say, totes, I hope you understand. Totes is basically the plastic, you know, plastic, you know, what you call cabin, like those, right? The blue ones. So you know, you can actually have a conveyor which can take 2 of those, and it will start moving from there. So it depends upon the application of the customer, the you know, the requirement of the customer, what exactly is the need. So all this can be managed, you know, with this.
See, when you look at the size of the automation, warehouse automation market, they're roughly around 270 million, which is, if you look at the, and it's very, it's a contrast to what our logistics spend is, right? Typically, you see warehousing distribution, you bring it broadly under the logistics spend, which is close to 12 to 15% of our GDP, right? But on such a large spend, if you look at our size of the warehouse automation, it's only 270 million broadly today.
India, is going through a structural, shift towards more modern and future-ready warehousing. I mean, we're calling it like grade A plus kind of warehousing. And a lot of that shift has happened and resulted in a lot of that capacity getting created in the country.
We are now at the shop floor of Adverb Technologies. Mr. Singh will run us through the entire process, the raw materials coming in, their assembly, and to the final product. Mr. Singh, could you outline us?
Yeah, sure. Hi. So this is the shop floor. This is called Bot Valley, right? This is the first manufacturing of Adverb, the first factory which we had come up with. Now the raw material for us is only steel plates, right? The steel sheets, what you call, right? So that's what we get as the raw material, right? And rest everything is done in-house. So all the design, conceptualization of the product, of the solution, the R&D, and finally all manufacturing, right, is done. Everything is in-house. We don't buy anything as such from the third party, right? Now once the sheets come in, right, this is the robotic welding system, right? So what happens is that we've got our own design, right? So based on the design, there are various types of welding which are required, right? So this is totally automated, robotic welding. And this is the first area where we actually do wherever it is needed in whatever kind of solutioning, right? Then we have got various types of machine out here, right? You can see VMC machines, right? So we've got 2 or 3 VMC machines here. Right, we have also got an area where we do some kind of a manual job, which is, which cannot get into all these kind of machines. So these are all lead well machines, right, where you do the VMC, where we use the VMC. So 1, 2, 3, all these 3 machines are the VMC machines, right? Now, once the products come out of it based on the design, you can see there are various types of parts which are already there, which have already been worked on by the machine, right? This is basically the machine working on the parts and giving us some parts of the final product. This is the area where we do some kind of, small work, which is basically the lathe work, what we call, right? For which you need this kind of a setup, right? So this is called the CNC lathe 1. So this is the lathe 1 area, right? Again, giving a kind of a shape to the final product what we manufacture, right? The solution what we do, right? So once we do this, then we've got the laser cutting. We have got various types of machines, right? Where you get again a part of a total kind of a product. So if you look at it, right, these are the kind of products. So this is kind of a is kind of a finished product, what you see here, right, with all the cuts out in here, right. These are all done with the help of these machines. Now, once these raw form of the product is there, right, it gets straight into our paint booth, right. That is the paint booth what you see in front of you, right. Now, once this gets into the paint booth, right, this is a fully automated paint booth, right, and then it comes out of the paint booth, which is the kind of shape what I showed you, right. So this is sandblasting, right. So there are various technologies, you are aware, right. So so we use short blasting machine here, and then we've got various other kind of products which go through various level of paint booth system, right. So we've got, basically it's about powder coating, right. We do all the powder coating out here, right. So this is where then you get some kind of a final kind of a shape to the product, right. Once this is done, then it actually gets into the assembly mode, right. So we will show you the assembly mode, right, where we get everything and then all the parts and all the electronics, they get into it, and then you start assembling the product, right. So if you look at it, what we saw some time back, right, mobile robotics, you can see mobile robotics being assembled here, right. So all this is manufactured, designed, so final shape given to the product, right. And now it is here for kind of manufacturing. So if you look at it, all the work is going on right now for manufacturing various types of robots. It could be zippy, it could be dynamos, right. Everything is being done out here, right. And also to share with you, right, most of the intelligent control cards and everything which go into these products are also designed by us, right, and we also develop these cards in-house, right. So this actually, once this is done, right, then it goes for kind of a testing, right, where we test everything before we send, right. So this is the area where we probably test most of our products. And on the left also, right, you can see another AMR, right. Now this AMR is for a customer. Now this is also for testing. So final testing is going on this product. Once the testing is over and the quality is approved by the QC department, it will be packed and it will be ready for sending the product, right. So so this is where we manufacture one solution product line of ours, right. Similarly, we have various other lines where we manufacture conveyors, we manufacture other mobile robotics, we manufacture cranes, we manufacture mother child, right, which is also a part of an ASRS solution, right. So all these things are manufactured out here.
Mr. Singh, you talked about the raw materials. Would you also tell us in terms of sourcing them? Are we sourcing Adverb technologies? Are they sourcing it domestically, or do you
we source everything domestically?
Right.
We are a pure Make in India organization, and we try to source all our raw material from the standpoint of the body, of the internal components. But there are still limitations sometimes, right? So we also source them from Europe sometimes, right? Because big brands which are there, right? Whether it's related to PLCs and everything, right? You get German brands which are good, because we also want to give a quality product, right? So, but we try to see that maximum products which go inside our finished solution is Indian. So we are also trying to promote other Indian organizations along, with us.
Right. Your robots are also primarily comprised of many electronics and semiconductors. We already know the supply chain sort of issues that have sort of plagued the entire world in terms of electronics and semiconductors. Give us a sense how Adverb technology is placed. Have you been able to streamline those supply chain bottlenecks, or there are some still issues that are lingering on?
No. So we still have some delays when it comes to the the components. But what we have been able to do is we have been able to manage quite a bit of it in-house. When I shared with you about the control cards and everything, we used to buy from Japan, prior to COVID. COVID made us learn a lot of stuff, right? And we were getting 6 months, 8 months delivery timelines. And obviously our customers, they wanted solution very fast. So we started developing all the cards also, all the control cards and everything in-house, right? And that's where it all started. So now I must say that we are quite a bit of self-sufficient, right? Obviously we cannot manufacture PLCs, right? But from the standpoint of the basic controls, we are trying to do in-house. We are trying to develop here itself.
Right. So this is your way of being Atmanirbhar, and what's the
Atmanirbhar,
entire
yes.
sort of Indian industries have been pushed forward to
Yes,
by
yes.
the government, and overall how's the pandemic has panned out in terms of streamlining the supply
Yes,
chains once
supply
again.
chain, yes.
Mr. Singh, it was really a pleasure. You made us walk through the entire shop floor and give us a sense of this really delicate sort of assembly and manufacturing of Adverb Technologies robots. Really appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Today at ET Infra, we will explore the new manufacturing facility of Adverb Technologies located out here in Greater Noida, and it is India's largest robotics manufacturing facility.
After COVID, demand for warehouse automation increased like anything, both because of manpower was not available. Apart from this, the businesses were growing like anything, especially e-commerce and the businesses like that. So our factories were full, and we thought we need to have another factory so that we can meet the requirement, or we can meet the demand of our customers. So for that we need money. Apart from this, we wanted to go global, because we felt that there is a demand for our robots outside India also. And for this we were looking out for the investment, and Reliance invested in us, because Reliance was one of our biggest customer. Apart from this, they were looking out for some automation company in which they can invest. So we took investment from Reliance, and with Reliance investment, we built our another factory which is called Botwash, which is world's largest robot manufacturing unit at a single location. And apart from building factory, we opened our offices in US, Europe, and Middle East, Australia.
We are in Greater Noida at the new manufacturing facility of Adverb Technologies. It is India's largest warehouse automation and robotics manufacturing facility, and also among the largest in the world. We are joined by one of the co-founders of Adverb Technology, Mr. Satish Shukla, who will give us a brief about this new manufacturing facility. So, Mr. Satish Shukla, welcome to ET Infra. Could you give us a brief about this new facility? You already have an existing facility at Bod Valley, and this is a new one that you have created. What was the need for it, and what are the demands that it is catering to?
Sure. Thank you, Dev. Thank you for featuring Adverb. So, as you've already mentioned, we had a manufacturing facility called Bot Valley, which is in Noida, spread across 2.5 acres. That facility is not only a manufacturing facility, but it also doubles up as an experience center for customers. It also houses our corporate office, and it is also featuring a very advanced R&D center for mobile robotics and warehouse automation. This factory is a pure play manufacturing facility, which we call Botverse. This is one of the largest mobile robot and warehouse automation manufacturing facility in the world. So we had that facility, Bot Valley, spread across 2.5 acres, and this facility is spread across almost 15 acres. So the manufacturing capability of this factory is almost up to 1 lakh robots a year. So that's the kind of capacities that we have built here, and we are forcing a huge demand in warehouse automation and robotics sector globally, and this factory stands to cater to that demand in the next decade.
Right. You talked about the capacity of about 1 lakh. Now, could you give us a brief, how much of that capacity is something that you're addressing for the domestic clients, and how much for the rest of the global world?
So right now, if you see our revenue mix or our demand mix mostly caters to India. So 70% of our revenue comes from India and 30% of our revenue comes from outside India. We have offices in Southeast Asia, we have offices in Australia, we have offices in US, Europe and Middle East. And our clients comprises of Fortune 500 companies which are spread across this region. But going forward, we expect the demand to tilt towards our global market, and we expect around a 60-40 kind of a ratio, where we expect 60% of our demand to be driven by global markets and 40% of our demand to be driven by Indian markets.
Right. This manufacturing facility has come at a time when the supply chain all over the globe were sort of in disarray. How you have handled that particular issue?
So, see, one of the reason why we went into the idea of manufacturing robots was to build more reliability into our supply chain. As you already know, COVID tested the limits of supply chain, and then post-COVID there was an era of excess, which again tested the limit of supply chain. So it was very important for us to control our supply chain, and our manufacturing facility was a part of that strategy, where we could add more reliability and quality into our robots.
Right. In terms of the manufacturing prowess that you're trying to create out here in India, give us a sense about the broader warehouse automation industry in the country as well, because we have this very sort of disaggregated warehouses across the country. Our warehouse industry are not something that very consolidated. It may have consolidated a little bit in the last few years, but it's very dispersed. So how you are sort of addressing that particular issue?
Sure. So, see, we are just at the beginning of the entire warehouse automation phenomenon. Our warehouses in the country today even do not have a racking structure. So what you see here is a racking structure. You can utilize the height of the warehouse by using this kind of a structure. So even most of the warehouses even do not have such level of an infrastructure today. So we are just at the beginning of the entire warehouse automation journey. See, as the variety available to the customer in the form of SKUs, in the form of different platforms on which he can order, in the form of faster delivery, the options for faster delivery increases, businesses will be forced to move towards warehouse automation. And that's what we have done for multiple clients like Lenskart, like Unilever, like ITC, like PepsiCo and Reliance. So all these customers have adopted warehouse automation because they needed to scale their businesses very fast, and they needed to meet the demands of the customer. See, in the West or in the developed nations, the trigger for warehouse adoption is different. There is a genuine labor scarcity. People are not turning up to the warehouses because of XYZ reasons. But in India, the reason for warehouse automation adoption is because businesses need to scale their operations very fast, and that can be only possible through warehouse automation, because when you're scaling up your business, you need to have efficiency, reliability and accuracy, and that is only possible through warehouse automation.
Right. It's you mentioned Reliance as one of your clients. It's also that Reliance is also one of your formidable backers in terms of financially. Give us a sense, because you have also undertaken automation operations for Reliance. Give us a brief, how's that working out?
So with Reliance, we have deployed multiple types of automation systems. So we have also deployed, so warehouse automation can be classified into two broad categories. You can have a person to goods system, where the person walks to the location and then picks up the particular item, or you can have a goods to person system, where the good comes to the individual, right, to perform the picking operation. So we have deployed both kinds of automation systems at Reliance, and we have created huge warehouses for them, where the amount of time that it takes to fill an order is one of the lowest in the entire country in that sector. So we have deployed both the systems. We have deployed person to good systems. We have done pick to light automation. We have implemented conveyor systems. We have also implemented carton shuttles, mobile robots, and sorting robots to implement goods to person systems as well.
We are at Industry 4.0. Artificial intelligence, AI, is also playing a very crucial role. As we can see that the robotics and the automation is picking up in the country. Where do you see the AI also coming and fitting into that landscape?
In mobile robots or in our automation systems that we are using here, AI is already in use, right? So how do we see manifestation of AI? Is we see it through these robots. These robots are already using algorithms for their navigation, for their movement, for optimization of material, which is basically AI and machine learning, right? Which is based on computer vision. So a robot uses computer vision to determine where it has to go and also to find its own path, right? A carton shuttle system or an ASRS system uses AI-based algorithms to learn from the data so that it can sequence the storage and retrieval mechanism, right, for optimum efficiency and operational efficiency. So we are already using AI in a lot of our products, and already that journey has begun some 2-3 years back. Obviously, with the development of more GPUs and more processing capabilities, with the onset of 5G, this implementation is going to pick up phenomenally as compared to what it has been in last 2-3 years. And we are using AI extensively for our fleet of mobile robots. We have deployed fleet sizes where there are more than 50-60 robots that are deployed at a single site. You need a very strong software that is powered by AI and ML, which can control these robots, manage the traffic, give them tasks, assign them tasks, so that they work as per the desired plan.
Right. You talked about the fleet of robots. Now, you're not just only manufacturing the robots, you also have your warehouse management system. Now, I've been told that the Indian companies, they make one of the best WMS systems. Tell us about Adverb's own technology in that.
Sure. So to that extent, we are very unique because we are a hardware and a software startup, right? So we do manufacture our own hardware in the form of mobile robots, in the form of ASRS systems, conveyor systems, pick-to-lights, etc. We also build our own software, right? So we have a warehouse management system, we have a warehouse control. So warehouse management system basically focuses on the inventory. A warehouse control system basically controls different types of automation systems, and a warehouse execution system is a combination of both these softwares. Now, how is Adverb software different from what is available in the market? See, all the softwares that have been written have evolved from manual processes, right? Because that's how warehouses were, right? 15-20 years back, there were a lot of manual processes. It was just like a box, like a go down, where you would pick the material, do it on a paper, and then deliver and dispatch it, right? So all these warehouses have evolved from those processes. All these warehouse softwares have evolved from those processes. How are we different? We are an automation first company. So we have designed a software with automation at heart. So if you intend to use automation in your warehouse at any point of time, then you must go for our warehouse software offering, because that is the only software available that can basically cater to automation requirements of different types, right? So as I mentioned, may it be a goods to person, a person to goods, may you're handling a carton load, a crate load, or a pallet load. Any industry sector that you're catering to, if you require automation, then our software is the software that can integrate with any type of automation available in the market, and that is what differentiates us from other players.
Right. So, Mr. Shukla, if you just go back, let's say even 10 years back, if you say to somebody about warehouse, the normal picture that comes in like sort of a go down, where you just go and dump your goods and pick up when you probably need them. Things have changed, and things have changed rapidly, especially induced by the COVID restrictions and the impossibilities it created. Where do you see the warehouse automation industry in the coming, let's say, even 5 to 10 years?
Sure. So, see, there is a global shift that is happening in the warehouses, right? If you want to make your logistics supply chain reliable, warehouse is a node that is under your control, right? Because it is your infrastructure, it is your box, it is your facility. Now, we have global giants like Walmart, which is saying that by 2026, 50% of the volume handled by Walmart will come from automated warehouses, right? So you can, and today it's not even in single digit, right? So you can imagine the kind of thrust that is going to come for this sector, right? There are small retailers, there are medium retailers, there are small e-commerce guys who have to compete with these kind of companies. So they would be forced to go for automation. So we see a huge demand for warehouse automation industry going forward. Now, what will happen is that this will force companies to create an automation strategy, and they will have to, right from the scratch, they will have to visualize an automation process while even designing the nodes of their warehouses. That becomes very important. And we see completely automated warehouse where robots are going to perform tasks related to movement of goods. Robots are going to perform tasks related to picking, packing, sorting. And humans are going to do value-added tasks, right, which would require dexterity. It's not that humans are going to be completely eliminated. You would still need humans to maintain these robots, right? You would need humans to program these robots. You would need humans to still do packing and shipping, which requires dexterity, right? Primary packaging, secondary packaging. But the rest of the tasks, right, like storage, sorting, packing, movement, are going to be completely automated with the help of these robots and automation. I feel we are very close to delivering a lights out warehouse, which basically means a warehouse that does not require light, because everything is being done by automation. And we will have those kind of lights out warehouse in the very near future in next 5 years.
Right. And now lastly, I will really have to ask you this. Do you think this is India's Amazon's moment? 10, 12 years back, Amazon changed the landscape with Kiva systems. How do you see it? Is this India's Amazon's moment?
So Amazon definitely changed the landscape by acquiring Kiva, and then the entire game of warehouse automation began for Amazon. I would say that this is India's moment, not Amazon moment, but India's moment, which global retailers will have to follow. Because see, the kind of scale, the kind of complexity that we have, right? You have 5G penetration in India, which is one of the first in the world, right? You have highest number of smartphone users in India, perhaps, right? You have high-speed data at every nook and corner of the country. You have 10-minute delivery in India, right? Which is not possible in the West. You have thousands and thousands of SKUs assortment available to pick from, right? The kind of volume, the kind of variability that Indian market offers is not available. So the kind of challenges that we will be solving will set precedent for companies which are present outside India. And this will be an India's moment where India will emerge probably as a benchmark for warehouse automation. The kind of solutions that we are deploying for customers have never been attempted globally, right? We are delivering omni-channel warehouses. We are catering to 10 to 20,000 SKUs for e-commerce players. We are delivering to almost 15 to 18,000 pin codes, right? So these are the kind of challenges that have never been attempted before. So probably we will create a template that global giants like Amazon, etc., are going to follow. That's how I would look at it.
See, earlier, maybe 2-3 years before or 4 years before, the average distance a truck that travels, especially for long hauls, was anywhere between 250 to 260 kilometers. Because let's say average speed was anywhere 30 to 35 kilometers on a highway, even though these are highways. And if you do for 8 hours, roughly not more than 240 to 260. So that was the average distance traveled per day by a truck. But today, given the infrastructure and the roads that have been coming up, this distance traveled has gone up. From 250, it's gone up to 300 to 320 kilometers per day. One is the speed. So now what happens is, if you have to, in a day you have to do 2 shipments. In a day now you can do at least 3 to 4 shipments, which means your truck utilization also goes up. If you're running at 70-80%, that means that your truck utilization goes up. More material is loaded onto a truck, but the turnaround time at the warehouse is still the same. You still need to maintain the same turnaround time at the warehouse because there are demurrages and all. So you'll have to load more within the same time, which means again this is driving a lot of automation as well.
We believe that there would be a significant shift over the next 7 to 8 years in this country. We have actually put a forecast for FY30 where we believe that more than, I would say, 80% of warehouses within grade A and B category would fall across L1, L2, and L3 level of automation, right? So you will see quite a significant shift happening in favor of L2 plus levels of automation in this country.
We want to become a $1 billion company in next 5 years. So when I say $1 billion, means we want to do a revenue of $1 billion in next 5 years. So out of this 1 billion, 500 million has to come from outside India, and 500 million we need to do it in India itself.
As road and other infrastructure network improves in the country, leading to increased turnaround time at India's warehouses, automation will be in demand in the future. This is not going to be just India's Amazon moment, but will be a unique moment in India's logistics and warehousing industry.